Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw that back at me. Let me know how you're doing out there if you want to. You don't have to share that information if you don't want to. You can just say hi. You can throw that, like Dude Wants His Rug, throwing the emote in there. Harold, thank you for hosting the stream. Always want to make sure I say that. Appreciate it very much, my friend. So, tonight, no green screen. We're going to try things out with the non-green screen approach. We're doing 16 by 9 camera again, both the overhead and this. I have adjusted the camera down. The immediate thing that I will tell you right now is it is so less warm right here. Hi, Ig, welcome. Things are cooler in here. Harold's here, of course, as mentioned, because I don't have a bunch of lights that you need for the green screen to work. I'm not using those. I got a black curtain there. Now, are my black curtains not identical? Shades of black, one's older? Yeah, so there's a little bit of whatever in there. Is that the only issue? As far as I can tell, yeah. It also means that when we go to the overhead, where I've switched my camera, on the overhead shot, it's now blocking where my keyboard is, which is good because it means that you won't see the keyboard except when you see my arm reach out to type on it. It also, hi Lashbrook, welcome. It also means that I might not have to always just wear black shirts when I stream build streams and use my green screen. One, because it helps with that, but it does mean that I can wear pride shirts without it being a problem. We don't run into any issues. This is the fine folks at Drawfee made a shirt where all the proceeds went to the Trevor Project. Yeah, I don't have to worry about that. I can have green. I could wear a green shirt on screen and it wouldn't be a problem. And that's pretty good. We'll get to building in a minute or two. This is just a hangout here. We're just going to chat with each other, see what's up. I'm going to talk about the past couple days. We'll talk about stuff that's coming out in the future. I got some stuff set up for my my charity stream, which I'm doing on Wednesday. We'll talk about that. I'm doing a charity stream on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm doing Twitch Sings, where for $15 you can pick a song, and I'll have a link to all of the songs that you can choose. And then that's $15. And then if you want to give 25, I want to say, I can't remember what the prices are, but there's another incentive, and that incentive is I'm look at this now. What my incentives are. Yes, 15 is pick a song or artist or genre. If you're like, I don't know, sing a ska song, then okay, I'll do that. But $25 will be that I will do and I'm going to record several duets. If you've ever seen a Twitch Sing stream that I've done, you know that's the thing you can do is you can sing with people. And I will have recorded a bunch of them over the next couple of days. And so if you want to hear me sing with me, I'll be doing that. On Monday, I'm going to do a bunch of those. And so that'll be like 25. That's when I'll do those. And it should be pretty fun. That's going to be on Wednesday. We are supporting the Baer Project. We are on Tanya's team, and she has raised so much money between her and her and fellow people on it. Hi, Jam, welcome. And I'm proud to join that up. The goal, I think the goal is like, I don't know, a couple $100. We're not trying to be excessive here, but we'll raise a couple $100. It'll be good. It'll be fun. Felt like a thing I could do. So I'm going to retweet that we're building, and then I'm going to start chatting about a thing that I wanted to talk to y'all about. So we'll do that. Let me check my notifications. People like that. Okay, good. That's good. All right, we'll go to the main feed here. My CPU usage shoots up now that my cameras are at 16 by 9, which I don't love. It's not a problem, right? It's not an issue, but it is apparently going widescreen on the camera is a thing, which I've noticed. Anyway, so I did want to point out because people ask like, what is this thing? So the Eldora Brute is in Gundam Build Divers Redive, um, and it is based on the Devil Army four-legged version. We built something from the Devil Army from G Gundam, but there was a four-legged version. Now I don't know if there's a kit of that. I don't think there is. I think there's just the one we built with two legs. But there was a four-legged version, and this is greatly inspired, like all Gundam stuff from Build Divers. It is inspired by other kits. So this thing has four legs. So we built the head, and we built the shoulders, and we built the arms for it, and the chest. Now we're going to build the legs, and then the waist, and then like the more of the torso. I don't know. We got stuff to do. So here is my general announcement. It's small. It's minor. I am going to stop doing my end of the month giveaways. If you're new, if you haven't been around for a bit, once a month, the last stream of the month, I would pick a name from a subscriber and I would send them something. Crazy like not crazy like fuck, sorry, not grind style, who has not gotten back to me, but I'm going to try to reach out to them again. Not grind style is now the last person to win those, and I'm going to be sending a bunch of Lego sets. The main reason is that I'm moving out of this apartment, and I cannot take all of the kits with me. So I found someone who I am donating all of my Lego to, that I have built in the past. I am breaking them down within the boxes outside of what I said not ground style was going to win. I'm going to break down all those boxes and donating all of the Lego. And this person will be, because I'm saying person because I have not chatted with them, if I can say who they are. But this person will be cleaning everything. Hi, Azuna dropped. We'll be cleaning everything, and we'll be donating those Lego kits to various children's wards of hospitals. They need to be properly cleaned. Generally, they like new, but there is a program to get those Lego sets in kids' hands. So that felt like the right thing to do. As far as the model kits go, I'm saving some of them. Some of the stuff that I always knew I was going to save, I'm saving. I'm not saving everything, but I'm saving some of the stuff. And a lot of other stuff is just is going away. I could, in the future, restart this program. But mainly it's a space issue. The places I'm looking at right now, I've been very blessed. Basically, my former roommate didn't use the living room, and I took the living room over and made it my storage locker, basically. I'm not going to be able to do that in the future. I know I can't do that in the future. So instead of filling up a space like that, I am now just going to be I'm going to stop doing the send-outs. If you won stuff in the past, I'm happy. As always, I'm grateful for people that choose to financially support me by with the support of the streams, by subscribing, gifting subs, subscribing on their own, using their Twitch Prime coin, using Amazon, using Cash Money. I always appreciate it very much. But yeah, so that's a thing. That's not a cool thing. It's not a great thing, but that is what's going on. I'm actively looking for a place, and I just know that, I can't get a storage locker. I can't get a storage space for all of my Gunpla. And so, yeah. I just can't. As I said, I'm keeping a few things that are sentimental value, like if it's a Death Scythe, I'm keeping it. If it's the Sazabi, I'm keeping that. Azuna is wondering if anyone else is building while watching. That's always a good question. feel free to let me know if you are doing any model kit building tonight or painting or doing anything else. As always, folks, when you're working on stuff, you can post it in the Discord. The Discord is, I'll put that there. Of course, I'll mention it in the pause of the cause, but you can always post in the Discord if you use Discord. You can always, uh, oh, I spelled it wrong. Ha ha. Ha. There we go. You can always post in the Discord. There's a building photos tab in there, and you can always post what you're working on there. I love to see it. But yeah, if anybody's working on anything, let me know. I always like to hear. Izuna, you don't have to tell me, but if you'd like to, let me know what you're working on. It's always nice to hear from folks that do build alongs. I know that some of y'all just have it on as you do other things. You just have, you're more about the audio. Some people are watching along video wise. Also, let me know if I should be adding more light. If you think that this feels a little too dark, I can adjust my lamp and kind of make it a little brighter here in this area here. Let me know. I am experimenting, but not using the overhead, not using the full lights because of the green screen. I still haven't, I still haven't like gotten exactly how I want everything. Hi, Mr. Bob. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, so that's the big thing. I'm going to stop sending out stuff, and I'm going to stop keeping things long term. Cat is on my build table, so working on him first, but it's time to put legs on the MG Tallgeese. Heck yeah, Zuna. Tallgeese 3. My Master Grade Tallgeese 3. It's an expensive kit. That I'm saving. That is going to be... The idea is basically, wherever I end up in my new place, as I look for a new apartment, new room for rent, I'm not probably going to be able to put up the curtains that I have here. I might be able to. So my thought is that I'm gonna do what I'm gonna be a real streamer about it. Wherever I end up, I'm gonna like make the focal point of the room like my workspace, my build space, and build the room around it. Like, there's my bed, whatever. Maybe the bed's in the shop. Maybe the bed's behind my build table. That's probably going to be the best thing, is that. But I'm going to try to design my space, my new space, around building. So that way I can have some things maybe on display in the background, like, oh, I've got a shelving unit, and the top shelf is some knickknacks. It's Pikachu, it's the big Tony chopper, it's the papercraft kits that I've built, that kind of thing. So that's kind of where I'm thinking right now. I don't know for sure, because everything's a big question mark right now when it comes to me moving. So I don't know. I'll know more soon, hopefully, because hopefully I'm going to figure this out. Right now, I'm like, okay, so I'm either moving into a new place, or I'm going to go to South Carolina for a while, which I don't want to do. But as of right now, I have I'm not working. Right now I'm paying New York rent. All of the money I make, whatever little it is, and my savings and everything goes to paying astronomical rent to live in New York, to do what I could do basically anywhere with a decent internet connection. Because all of my gigs are online, because of course they are. And my rent is very high, and I'm not doing anything else. And yeah, it's like, oh, well, New York is probably going to open some things. And it's like, yeah, but not everything, and not the stuff I do. And then also, some of the stuff I do, I don't know if it's going to reopen. So I'm kind of worried about that. So that's basically where I'm at. Like, I have a couple gigs that I want to do in New York at the end of the year that might happen. So I'm like, Well, I should be around in case those do happen, and they can. I can't be back. So I'm a little up in the air on some stuff. I want to stay in New York. It really depends on if I can find a place that is. Uh, I really need to just find a place that is like a small little room, right? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to condense my life, get rid of things, find a small little place. Harold says, I wish I could do more to help. I have a spare room, but it's here in Florida. Harold, I appreciate that very much. Yeah, I'm not at the point where I'm asking people to let me stay in their spare bedroom. As I said, I am blessed. I am truly and truly blessed, not only with a wonderful community of folks that like what I do and like me as a person, which I'm grateful for, consistently grateful for. But also, I do have folks that have a spare bedroom that would let me go and hang out there if that for a couple months while we wait to see if New York is any close to the same that it was. Um, I don't know. I might just it it may never be the same. Um, which is sad to think about, but is possibly true. Um, it's just it'll be interesting to see what bounces back and how people bounce back. Um, yeah, it's rough, but I'm trying to I'm trying to be realistic about, like, positive when I can be positive, honest at all times, and that's kind of how I'm trying to approach things. We are going to be doing 4 legs here. I'm doing 2 at once, and then we'll do the other 2. That's kind of the what I've been looking at doing here. If you were like, hey, I thought this was like multiple legs, it is. We're just building them. We're slowly putting it all together. All right. What else do we need? We need. This is D. Okay, we need E. So put that there. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm trying to figure these things out. Oh, what did I want to say about? I didn't have a taco party yesterday. I talked about this on Thursday. I believe I talked about this on Thursday. The plan was that uh, my friend was going to come over, and we were going to hang out, and we were going to order a bunch of tacos, and I was going to sit on my stoop, and my friend was going to be at the sidewalk, and we were going to catch up and hang out, and it was going to be a nice taco party. But the rain had happened, and it was on and off and kind of weird, and we weren't sure, and we were like, well, we can go late, but that didn't seem like the wisest course of action. So instead, we just decided to postpone it, and then I just got tacos anyway and ate tacos inside, and that was pretty good. I do recommend that. Obviously, supporting local business is important if you can financially do it. Uh, if you're able to support people like that, uh, and you can take certain precautions and the like, you know, getting local businesses going sounds pretty great. It's pretty good. I would recommend. Oh, I did want to say a thing that happened that I'm real bummed about. A small bum. It's a small bummer, right? There are big bummers out there, right? There are systematic, like, huge, giant bummers out there. I'm not saying there aren't. We are not. We believe that there are. A small bummer is that someone by the name of Wicked Jexter raided with a party of like 19 as we were raiding on Thursday. At the end of the stream, somebody came in to raid just as we started to raid. And I don't know if they came along with us, or I don't think they did. But that was such a bummer. Because I was like, damn. I mean, we were done anyway, but if they'd come a couple minutes earlier, like, could have talked, we would have hung out maybe a few more minutes or something like that. But But that was a shame. I would have liked to have. I do not know Wicked Jexter. Cannot say anything about Wicked Jexter or their community. But next time, yeah. I mean, like, I would like more people to come see what we do because y'all are great. Y'all are fantastic. This is a great community of people. And I am always thrilled when new folks can come in and see what we're up to and see what we're about. All right, so let's see here. This is going to be like this. So yeah, I'm not afraid of raids at all, but the hope is that I would like more people to see what we're about, and I like answering questions about model kit stuff. If anybody in the chat has any questions, anything they want to talk about tonight, as far as that goes, feel free. Model kit building, or specifically, generally, whatever. Like, me, I like talking about model kit stuff, and this portion of the kit is a bit repetitive. It is a bit repetitive. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna adjust light like that. That just makes me brighter. It doesn't make the. Okay, we don't want to do that. All right. Well, that was a mistake because now I'm just making myself brighter. There. That's better. That's probably a little better. Yeah, I just ended up shining a light myself. I've been there. Raids that just miss, and raids come in just before I plan to sign off. I went an extra half hour last night after I got raided. Yeah, Harold. I mean, we've done that too when people come in towards the end. I'm gonna have a little water, y'all. I'm gonna try to just drink more water in general. Especially with doing like being on loading ready run this past couple times, and like maybe a few more people will want to come check it out because they saw me on the stream or whatever, and I want to be available. I think like when I did a game stream not too long ago, I was definitely not feeling right and cut it early, and there was a raid like just as I was about to stop, and we hung out for a little bit. But I was definitely like, I am not staying long for this. Apologies. But yeah, I mean, like, if people come in and suddenly they're active and they're asking questions and they're interested in what you're doing, like, you want to be gracious, you want to answer questions and be there and hang out, and also like, it's nice having people here. Is there any way for the spur part color that will reveal if it is internal and needs less work, or is an extra part requiring lining and other work? Is there any way from the sprue part color that will reveal if it is internal and needs less work, or if it's an external part requiring? So, Izuna, generally, if it is, kind of take a look at the kit, right? Like, if you see that the armor is bright red, and then you have a piece that is black or white, that's probably going to be underneath the part. As something that has like a skeleton, like what do you call it? What kit has a skeleton? Oh, the inner skeleton parts for Iron-Blooded Orphan kits, the full mechanics line. Those, you build the skeleton, then you build the armor all around it. And you can kind of tell that those will be covered up. When you're dealing with high grades, right, like you can see here, we're building these legs, right? There's no internal parts here. When you're working with a master grade, sometimes there are internal parts. But I don't believe there's necessarily a super easy way. Sometimes the instructions will tell you, like, you will see in the instructions, like, at the beginning of a thing, for a master grade, where it's here, right here. This one just shows you the photo of what you're building. Sometimes they will show you a snapshot of all the pieces that you're going to be building in this next step, and that might be helpful. But for a kit like this, like, there's a little bit of this piece here in the knee that you'll never see, right? That's going to be covered by parts. But I can't tell you exactly where that is until I assemble the piece over it, and now I'm like, okay, well, there's a little bit that rocks back and forth, but there's probably some that will never be seen. and there's part of this piece that will never be seen. Uh, but you kind of don't know until you put it all together. So some people will do they will do a loose assembly if you're going to be painting. Like they wouldn't do this as tight as I did. They would loosely snap it all together so it lines up, and then they will use a tool to separate it. Um, uh, Now, I know that there's going to be a new version of a high grade. It's not a high grade. It's a new thing that Bandai is going to be putting out. That's supposed to be easier than high grades, and basically the parts are going to be placed on a tree in order. So it'll be like here's all the pieces that use the head in order on the top. So you don't. So whereas this kit right or this piece right now in this kit, I need E and D and F. Well, the leg is going to be all F, would just be one leg or both legs. So that might end up making things a little easier on those kind of kits. That doesn't unfortunately help us here. Um, but yeah, it is. Um, I will say, like, as someone that doesn't necessarily do line work, like a lot of this is just me over time. I kind of get like a sense of how things work and how they go. Um, and I could imagine a world where it would be easier to start assembling things. Entry grade, yes, Lastbrook. Lastbrook, remember the name of the new style. Entry grade is what they're calling it. That could be interesting. No problem. Azuna, I am here to help and to encourage as best I can because I love doing this stuff. And y'all are consistently fantastic. So, but yeah, I'll have. Yeah, that entry grade kit would be interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna necessarily put it. That it's not high on my priority list as far as kits that I definitely want, but it's interesting. Oops, put this on too soon. Gotta take out my tools. Uh, use this kit here, and then we will separate the leg. The nice thing is that these legs are all identical. So as I screw up one leg, I will have three that I will be able to nail and really, really put together well. Uh, got a notification thing here to check. Oh, I love that idea. The idea that Kevin Nash should be the next great children's author is very funny to me. Big, sexy Kevin Nash. Diesel, if you're old school. Just the very idea of him being a children's book author makes me laugh. Very funny. Um, Good evening, Dirty. Welcome, welcome. You used your channel points to modify. I like that. Aristophan asks, why does this Gundam have four legs? Well, basically because it's evil. This is the Eldora Burst, which is a modified version for build divers of the G Gundam Devil Army four-legged variety. And it is, if you remember, we did the Devil Army Gundam, or the Devil Army mobile suit from G Gundam. The idea with four legs is so that, like, in Earth battles and non-space battles, it will have increased mobility. I think the real question is, why do space Gundams have two legs, and why don't all Earth and Moon and colony-based Gundams have four legs? Think about it. Also, like I said, it is an evil mobile suit. So the original version, at least. I don't know enough about build to tell you if if this kit is evil, but I assume so because it does look it. It is purple after all. Purple is generally the color of villainy. Saying words here. The color. Ah. Sorry, I'm yawning a lot. I didn't sleep well last night, and that's okay. It'll be alright. I'll sleep well again. I'll get some extra sleep tonight and make up for it. But we'll see. We'll see if I can get a little bit more sleep this evening. Got plenty of West Coast friends who are up late the past couple weeks. And so I've been chatting with them in various ways. Hey, Lord Crashington, welcome. It's leg day here, and generally leg day is over pretty quickly, but we got 4 legs to build. And I don't care if this is a 1-4-4 scale high grade. We've already built 2 of the 4 legs, but we're not done with the legs here. We got a few more steps left to go. But yeah, it is. There's still legs left to build. And then we'll get 2 more, but we're going one at a time. Again, folks, let me know. I am changing this stuff up kind of on the fly as I go here, trying to get things set up right. That didn't like that. So if the lighting here you need a little bit more, you want a little bit more, I can play around with some settings. I'm trying not to shine a light directly on me. This boy looks thick. Lord Crashington, you're not wrong. There's a lot going on with this kit. But yeah, I'm trying to mix things up here and change things up as I move away from the green screen stuff. Mainly just to get set up. I felt like going 16:9 widescreen with this was the better solution long term. Since we'll see. It's certainly easier. And this takes way less time for me to set up. And that's good. Even if I am just home, it's still like a lot. I kind of like the green screen I did a video that will go out on Monday, a new Baer's Anime Club. And yeah, would it be better if I had it on a green screen than just using the black image? Yeah, it would have been better, but it still works fine. The black background. It's okay. But part of it was when I had my overhead being 4x3. I didn't want to take up too much real estate, so by using the green screen, I was just pat in the middle. But then I was like, I don't know, I had all the text going there, and I had all the dual images, and they were never lined up right, and I don't know. I think this feels. I like this. Let me know what you think. Because that is important to me, right? Like, very little of this is non-negotiable. Like, my intro screen and my pre-show and my Be Right Back are going to have the Black Lives Matter banner there. Like, that's non-negotiable. But other than that, like, this stuff is. If it's like, the border pulls my eyes too much, or like, I think that you should be in the center and the bottom, and we should figure out figure out where things go. Like, or maybe I should be in the top. I don't know. Should I be up top? Like, let me know what you think, because that is important to me. I want you to have a good experience watching what I do and watching the streams. So that stuff is important to me. I do take feedback seriously, so feel free to let me know. If you got thoughts. Did you see that awesome Itch.io bundle of over 700 games that's raised over 13 million for Black Lives Matter related charities? I did see that, Lord Cratch did. That fucking rules. Yeah, that bundle has companies that don't do bundles. Like the folks that made Night in the Woods are a part of that bundle. Like people that generally don't do that sort of thing are taking part, and it rules. And it's one of those things where if you're like, oh, I don't know, it's like, well, if you've been on the fence about donating, You know, just consider yourself saving a lot of money. And are you going to be buying things you already have? Probably. Probably a bunch of stuff you already have. Will you be buying things that you will never play? Sure. But that also would be the case on just any given day anyway, right? And because we all like pick up stuff. I mean, the amount of free stuff that I've gotten from Epic that or like that I haven't touched at all is pretty high. There's been a bunch of stuff that I was just like, oh, that's free? All right, I'll get that. Oh, someone sent me a link to Steam. This thing's $2 right now. Oh, yeah, I've been thinking about getting that. Okay, oh yeah, that's definitely worth $2. Okay. So you might as well support small colleges. And also, the minimum is just that because it's a bundle. So if you want to pay more, you can. People like that. I like it when you do more. So yeah, that's pretty neat. Um, Reminder that if you're a subscriber, you have to manually renew that if you use Twitch Prime. If you use Cash Money, you don't have to manually renew that. But when you do, when the renewal thing comes up, when it's your anniversary, hit that notification button so that I know that you, and we all know that you renewed your subscription, so we can all say thank you. And I'll, play the applause sound and all the other malarkey that we do here. I said at the top of the stream, I'll say it again because we got more people watching than we're watching then. Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, I am doing a Twitch Sings charity stream. It will be benefiting the Baer project. Because the thing about Baer is that you got to put up money. And then when you put that money up, and then you go to the courthouse to be arraigned, and your charges are dismissed because they were just charges to take you off the street to inconvenience you and scare you. You can use that bail money again for other people, and the benefits continue. So it's totally worthwhile to be able to support folks like that. So I'll be doing singing because that is a thing I can do to raise money, and it'll be a good time because that's always fun, right? It'll be an entertaining time. I'll be singing some songs, and yeah. Speaking of subscriptions, Dirty is gifting 5 subs. Thank you so much, Dirty. That's incredible. Let's throw the emotes in there, and I'll say the names of everybody who just got some sub to them. Dirty, that's incredible. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so very much. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. And welcome, new subscribers. Izuna dropped. Vodka and Twitch. Swordfish. Sorry, is that Jessica and Commander Canty? Welcome. That is a Jessica. And Commander Canty, hello and welcome. You're now subscribers. You now have, you won't see ads at the top of the stream. If you come in late, you won't see a pre-roll ad. And you have cool emotes. And also, you're just here, and it's cool that you're here. Welcome. But yeah, that's so nice of you. Dirty, thank you so much for doing that. Welcome to the top of the leaderboard for that. It does mean a lot. Also, in general, folks, anytime I'm in the low 40s, I'm always a little bit worried because that monthly payout, hitting that threshold to get that monthly payout is, for me at this time, just important. It just means that in the middle of the month, every month I have some income coming in, and that is super important right now. Harold just cheered 69 bits. Nice, Harold. Throwing in the applause there. And then Ig wants me to hit that gong. I'm going to hit that gong. Thank you for the bits, Harold. I appreciate that very much. It's gong time. Here's the gong. If you're new on the stream. Oh, Harold also wants me to hit that gong. I got to hit double gong. This is a channel points. Do I need... I don't need to make them more because I do like doing this. Gong. Gong. Lord Crash did also. Gong. Hit that gong. If you haven't seen the gong, it is a decorative gong that my Dirty also wanted to get that gong. A decorative gong that my roommate left, and now it is part of the stream. Dirty redeemed the gong again. Okay, let's take a pause. We'll do more later, okay? Let me get back to working on these legs. I am not mad that you are using your channel points for the gong. If I was mad, I wouldn't have the gong be a channel point. Or I would make him cost a lot more. That's not my style. The sound effects, the soundboard, and the gong are both, I think, pretty reasonable, especially for subscribers. It does not take that long to get those. The ask a question one is kind of the weird one because you can just ask me a question. It does mean that if we get like busy at some point, which I'm not expecting us to, but if we do randomly get busy at some point, then I can like be like, hold on, I have to do this. Hold on, let me figure this out. And I won't miss your message, but like I'm not gonna miss your message. All right, let me just really quick just one thing here. Ha ha ha! I did it. The K stands for Karen. Boom. Take that, J.K. Rowling. Fucking. Okay. Well, now I gotta play the soundboard for Harold. No problem. Let's play the soundboard. We'll talk shit about J.K. Rowling in a second after I. And then Lord Crash also wants me to do that. And of course. Yeehaw! Yeehaw! Alright, I played a lot of that. There you go. Soundboard. Redeemed. Activated. Done. We did the soundboard, y'all. The soundboard happened. I'll put that there. That's off the way. Alright, let's get in. We're going to do 2 more legs. But yeah, J.K. Rowling continues to be garbage. Benefit of the doubt went away a long time ago where we were like, hey, are you doing that weird British thing where suddenly you're like a TERF? And like, what the fuck? Why is that happening? Are you like, do you like not get it? Hey? And it was like, oh no, you do get it. Like, you don't get it, but you do get what you're saying. You do realize that you are being harmful and hurtful, and also you are internalizing the hurt you are causing in others as people being jerks and being haters or being disrespectful or whatever you need. Because you have decided to equate the work you do with the belief that you are above criticism. It's like, well, you know, like people can have criticism of my books, but they don't have criticism about how I feel about like the world and things. And it's like, I mean, they can and they do. And that's why we say either we can say they're books and whatever. And if that's your style, if you're like, it's fucking books and I don't care. It's just books. It meant a lot to some people. It didn't mean anything to me, or it did mean something to me. It doesn't anymore. Cool. I do like the trait that the idea that it's like, oh yeah, no, Hatsune Miku made those. I don't know why that became the thing that people started saying. They don't believe that, certainly. But I do think it's the funniest thing to be like, oh yeah, Hatsune Miku wrote all of the Harry Potter books. I don't get that. I don't get it. I like it. I don't know why Hime's from Crunchyroll's girlfriend, Hatsune Miku, wrote the Harry Potter books. Apparently, she did. Happy birthday, Hime. It is an odd thing to say happy birthday to a mascot for a streaming anime service, but it is Hime's birthday, so I guess I'll say that. I don't know. Look, everything's fucking nonsense. The real thing is that I've been there. I've been here before, y'all. I've been here before. Uh, because I am older. I am not the oldest person in the room. I'm not old, but I'm older. I've been around for a while. This is not the first time. Uh, yes, Lashbrook. Also, Hatsune Miku also created Minecraft, and we thank her for creating Minecraft and doing a great job with that. Um, uh, this is not the first time that a thing that I loved as a young person, because I was not a young person for Harry Potter by any stretch, but I have had things that meant a lot to me, and then you find out that the people or person that made the thing is not what you would hope they and and it's more. Uh, I think the joke. Yeah, I think it did start with Minecraft. I believe you're right that it did. Uh, yes, yeah, and then, uh, you know, not only can we look at the things that okay, Harold says it started with someone did a Twitter poll who created Minecraft, Notch or Hatsune Miku, and then Miku won. That makes sense. That does make sense. That does seem like how a Twitter poll would go. Uh, yes. Um, look, like I said, uh, I'm an older person than some of you here in the room. Uh, uh, like how we call entitled white women Karens now because some dude on Reddit being super mad at his ex or something like that. I mean, look, it's not wrong. There are a lot of white women named Karen that, if I'm saying that name, it is who you think, it is that person you're thinking of. Is that fair to not all Karens? I don't want to not all Karens. Of course, it's a stereotype. It's not a slur. It's not a fucking slur. Is it rude? Sure. It's rude. If you know the name of someone and instead you call them Karen as a way to prove your point about their behavior, uh, I would say first and foremost, are they acting like a Karen? And secondly, I would say, uh, yeah, it's rude to rude people. Generally, it is a way to belittle someone who is being garbage, and I do not have a problem with that. Uh, um, yeah, I mean, look, I'm grateful for Hatsune Miku for writing Ender's Game. Is Ender's Game also problematic? Yes, in its own right, certainly. Is Ender's Game, in hindsight, looking back at it, uh, does it make sense that as a young man who felt like he wasn't being heard, it makes sense that I would gravitate towards Ender's Game and it would make a lot of sense to me? Yeah. It makes a lot of sense that I really liked Ender's Game, where a very smart person uh, was being manipulated, and the bad things that happened were not his fault. They were the fault of people who were using him for his intelligence. It was not Ender's fault that these things happened. Uh, that is like, yeah, it makes total sense that I really liked Ender's Game. Uh, I don't have to do a lot of soul searching to understand why that first book really meant something to me. Uh, action adventure game, action adventure game, Advent Rising. Yeah. But then also, Orson Scott Card, um, is garbage, And if you are look, I don't expect anyone in this chat right now to be like, but he said that we should that they said that people should stop trying to prevent gay people from getting married in California. Like he said like, oh yeah, let's stop doing that. Well, that's not a change of heart. He was just like, well, they passed these laws, so it is a waste of our resources to continue fighting this. He wasn't like, I've changed my mind. I have grown as a person. He was like, it's a waste of energy to try to overturn these things. So let's do other bad shit instead. Uh, I will always take Orson Scott Card stuff incredibly personal because it is very personal to me. Because a portion of, he used, look, he used dollars that I gave him, trying to make sure that people I knew couldn't get buried in Los Angeles and California in general. So I take a lot of that there. I have personalized a lot of that. Also, as I said, I really liked Ender's Game, and it was a real bummer. It's just like, a bit of a conversation came up with, and we won't necessarily get into all of him, but I really like the Fable series of comics. I heard some not so good stuff about the creator. Then I saw him live in person, and now I don't have those comics. Yeah, Rister fan? Yeah. The movie version, not so much. Yeah, Dirty, I didn't see it. It just... the thing I will claim great credit for is I got a friend of mine who loved Ender's Game more than I did, who his AOL screen name had Ender in it. That's how much he loved Ender's Game, like back in the day. His AOL name had Ender in it. He snuck into the movie and didn't pay for it. He paid for a different movie. And that's like the best I could do with that dude. And I felt pretty good that I was able to accomplish that. It's like, well, I didn't pay for it. And I was like, well, I guess that's as best as we're going to do right now. It's not great, but it was something, and I will take it. Yeah, Aristophan, I totally hear you. That is, it is a thing. We talk about artists and artists. So I finished up my Toonami, my Baering the List Toonami. I'll mention it in the break again. And somebody had a comment about Rurouni Kenshin and how they, knowing what they know about the person who made it, nah. And it's like, yeah, 100%. It's me that's a little too blinded by my love of the material that I shouldn't. I should be being like, but and I'm not that, and I should. Yeah, Lord Crashington. I didn't watch the video because that's not. I don't need to watch the video. Yeah, I mean, because that's just so. I don't. I'm trying to say this as succinctly as I can for folks that are watching. We'll go here. We'll do this here. So when these things come up, when people just desperately need their voices heard, when they want things, when they demand things, the response from some people is to believe that they are saying, you don't get to have these things. And that's not what it is. When we talk about Black Lives Matter, we're not saying that white lives don't matter. In the same way that when your response is, well, cops kill more white people than black people, that's bad too. And disproportionately, the number of that, there's not even saying that. If you just take white people numbers and not percentages, and black people numbers and not percentages. And when we're talking about percentages, when you're just talking broad numbers, that's also bad, and you should want that to change. Well, that sounds like you're on our side, but you're not, because you have been conditioned to believe that you are losing something by people begging and crying and demanding more. It is the same argument that was set out uh, in the movement for more representation within games. We've seen it. Yeah. There's that Traders of America list. Yes, people were trolling with saying it's a great list of companies to support. Yeah. The Traders of America thing. One of my favorite things is that list has Sung-Won Cho, and then it tries to take a dig at Sung-Won Cho that he's not in major movies. And it's like, well, then why is he on the list, buddy? No major. It's like, what? Don't. Why are you taking digs at people? Don't you want them to see, like, act like they're big? R. Clay Bones is now following. Thank you for the follow. But yeah, in a sense, the idea that by people of color, specifically black people, when women asked for more representation, to be seen more, to be respected more, to have their place and have their say, and to talk about their own harassment within gaming culture, it was seen as, oh, because you have a problem with these games, you want to get rid of these games. You want to get rid of things that I like. You don't want me to be in games anymore. And it's like, well, I don't want you to be in games anymore if you suck ass. If you're garbage, then get the fuck out of here. Like, we're not saying don't do these things. We're saying let's take a critical look at these things. We're also saying, hey, we're here and we demand respect. And it's all that is. And the extension of that is this is obviously beyond games. And it's not surprising that people react that way. That the idea that the, frankly, completely empty, nonsensical statements that companies are making, because at some point a lot of them realized it's free to just say you respect people. Because at worst, all you're going to do is get mildly dunked on by people going, but hey, y'all fucked up though. Remember when you fucked up? Like, hey, but do you remember when you really fucked up? Like, whatever. They don't remember that. But the belief that by Rockstar saying, hey, we're all gamers and we believe these things to be true and we're going to listen to our community and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not an attack on you, guy. It's not. It's not an attack on you. It's going to be okay, guy. It's not an attack. It's an attack on the system. And you do also benefit from that system greatly. I benefit from white privilege constantly and consistently. 100%. We all do. That's why a 70-year-old white guy getting knocked the fuck down is going to be more viral than That's why old white ladies talking about how the U.S. social studies draws our maps to make us seem big, to make Christian countries 75. Thank you, Harold. Seem bigger and cooler. That's why Greenland is on our map is drawn bigger than South America. Like, yeah, we all benefit from that shit. Like that is the thing, and it is a thing that we have to like begin to understand. And like, yeah, like I have privileges. If I go and protest, I'm more likely to uh, uh, I'm more likely to be okay around curfew time. I will certainly uh, I am not immune to any of it, but I'm more likely to be okay. Uh, oh yeah, I mean like yes, yes, there are people who like they care so much about brands. Like there are people who today probably threw out their gushers because gushers wrote a tweet because gushers was like, "There's no gushers without black people," and I'm sure somebody was just like, "Not in this house," and it's just like, okay, I don't know what to do with that. Um, but yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, like I said, when it's white people getting attacked too, then you start to people seem to be like, okay, well, I guess this is real, which is bullshit and sad and shitty. But yeah, there are folks that internalize their likes as their personality, and that is definitely very dangerous uh, and sad. But yeah, I mean, like when you let that define you, you start seeing things. People asking for better becomes people asking for you to do things or you not to getting what you want. Or Gresham says, I can't imagine being that fragile to lose my shit over a declaration of wanting equality. Yeah, I mean, it feels like a personal attack, right? Like, like I said, right? Did I have a quote unquote overreaction that someone I was watching on YouTube wrote a tweet that was the last straw? Some people will say that I'm just being butthurt and it's an overreaction, but it's like, no, that guy showed his whole ass. I don't need that. In these times, if you say that you will defend yourself and your property, then we're done here. Uh, Mr. Kung Fu Grip, first off, that's a very good username. I've said that before, and I'll say that again. That's a very good username, Mr. Kung Fu Grip. It would get attention because that's generally our elderly folks do get some attention when these things happen. It would not have gotten as much, certainly. Um, Jackie Cation, I don't believe coined the term, but I came to understand the term from her. She's been saying it for since basically 2015, and that the or 2014, I should say, and that is White Lady Meat Shield, and that is that's what you do. Uh, well, I mean, Azuna, um, he's this old white man is already being called the mayor of Albany. First of all, Albany fucking sucks. You don't need me to tell you that Albany is a garbage place full of sad people. Because generally, when you choose a place to be the capital, It's not cool. There aren't a lot of yeah. Yes. I don't know. I don't know. We won't know, unfortunately. But yeah, like let me just tell you, uh, as a matter of fucking fact, Albany sucks as a place. Uh, but the concept of being a white lady meat shield or a white person meat shield. She starts speaking of herself when she says white lady meat shield. Jackie Cation. Dork Forest. Look it up. Fantastic. An old lady nerd. Just an older lady nerd. She's not an old lady, but she's an older lady nerd. Just a lovely person. Great comic. Um, but Jack Cation talks about like, all right, put the thing I can do is I can be in the way, and I can, uh, you know, maybe give someone pause, give them a moment. Uh, Also, I said this on Twitter. When I saw all those people outside the courthouse when those two cops went in and said they were not guilty, they pleaded not guilty to pushing that old man down. Um, I was like, my first thought was like, why do all these guys in cargo shorts not? Why do none of these guys in cargo shorts have masks? And then it was like, oh, they're all off-duty police officers, and it was like, oh, that's why they're not wearing masks because they're all cops. That makes way more sense. But it did strike me as weird that none of them had masks on because I'm a human in the state of New York and people wear masks because you gotta. But yeah, off duty cops apparently don't need to wear masks. Weird. It's trash. It's bad trash. No problem with helmets, but masks, forget about it. Yes. Lord Crushing, they were basically like, well, we're not going to be on this task force. And it's also like, okay, you're not resigning as police officers. Okay. Yeah. I would say this: there are a dozen mayors across the country, probably way more than that, but a dozen mayors we've seen in major cities that really should join the protests because they are clearly very afraid of the police. They are they are terrified of the police. So they really should consider uh, getting on board with some reform because they are just so frightened of what's going on. I'll be out tomorrow for a bit. I'm not doing a lot, but I'll do a little. Um, uh, I tried to go for a run the other day, and I have not been exercising, and definitely fucked up my leg. So I'm trying not to do a lot of walking. But I will get out there because it's important. All right, we have a little bit more of the legs to finish, but let's take our pause for the cause. It'll be a good time to do that. Um, because we still have a little more leg stuff to do here. Uh, so we'll take a pause for the cause, and then we will come back here and do a little more building here on our legs. It's still leg day, so we got more leg stuff to do. Um, yeah, yes, Lord. The Stone Cold stuff. Look, has Stone Cold on his podcast talked about gay rights and Black Lives Matter and people protesting, having the right to protest? Yes. Facebook stuff is old, and that's okay. Also, there are parody accounts out there of Stone Cold Steve Austin just yelling at people because it's fun. But that's all right. Anyway, we're going to take a pause for the cause. This is just a brief little time here where I'll just talk about ways that you can support the stream if you'd like. We're going to get through these really quick. You don't have to do any of it. Now, as you know, we did have a bunch of gift subs from Dirty. If you'd like to join, you can use Cash Money. You can use Twitch Prime. If you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you can be a subscriber. That would great. That would benefit me, and I would appreciate it. I'm throwing the Bear Cave leg of the Scythe emote. Aristofan already did. If you want to be a subscriber, you're more than welcome to do that. Bits and coins, always appreciated. That is another way to support the stream. You're under no obligation to do that, of course. We'll get through these really quick, and then we'll get back to building. I have a Patreon. You can join my Patreon if you'd like. $5 patrons and $10 patrons get videos a day early. $3 patrons get to vote once a month on a game I'll play in my bonus streams or concept that I'll do. And $1 patrons get a Q&A video that I make that's just for them once a month. That's how I do that. It's another way to support if this isn't the way you want to do it. I gotta show up more commands here. I also hey, if you like what I do here and you just like to one time say hey, thanks. You do a bits and coin thing. You can transfer your money that way. You get a little cut to the Twitch, and I get some stuff. Maybe you watch some ads and you've converted it. But you could also donate directly through with Coffee and Streamlabs and PayPal, and those will benefit me, and I will be able to buy model kits to build. And that's another way to support the stream. Right now, I would say if you wanted to buy something, if you want to buy a gift card from USA Gundam Store, you could buy a gift card. You get an email with a code. A couple people have done this, and then you would send me a tweet, a DM, I should say, directly a DM on Twitter or a whisper here on Twitch, and give you the code, and then I'll buy something. And I'll probably be pre-ordering stuff because I am moving, and I'm a little worried about that. At a certain point, I'm going to switch my Amazon wish list to my parents' address just because I am a little worried about getting stuff. So that way, at the very least, if people buy things off my wish list, it'll go to them. And that way we'll get it. It won't come here after I've already moved out because who knows as things go. I'm going to do that next week. But I do have an Amazon wish list. You're more than welcome to buy something from that. Some stuff is not available right now. A lot of Lego seems to be out, but not all of it. There are things that are there. But I'm leaving the things that are not available for now and the things that are way too expensive. Like, hey, don't buy the Destiny 4 Blaze Zaku for $100. That's nonsense. It'll drop in price again. Don't worry about that. But if you see something in there that you'd like to see me build on stream, you could pick that up. Camphor is 48. That's about right. If it's got Prime shipping, it's going to take longer than it would say, but you could purchase that, and then I would build it on stream, and that's a way to support the stream. I'll stop talking about that. But yeah, don't spend $200. I mean, I'm just going to take that out. I don't even need the high-res red frame. That's right now, that's at $200, and that's nonsense. And don't spend $200 on the Altron limited edition Endless Waltz Master Grade. Although that'll, even when it drops in price, that's still a lot of money because that kit is very expensive. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, looks like somebody picked up. I still have the Turn A Gundam coming, but I think that's it as far as stuff that people have bought off my wish list. I would say right now, getting something from that is going to be a little tough, just because I'm going to move at some point at the end of the month. All right, I'm going to quickly go through a few more ways you can support the channel if you'd like. I have a Discord. I mentioned this earlier. Join my Discord. People post photos of the projects they're working on, so you post photos of things. And that doesn't have to be model kit building. That can be, do you use a 3D printer? Are you painting minifigs or miniatures? Or minifigs? Are you doing custom stuff? Did you put together some furniture you want to show off? And have people go, ooh, and have me go, wow. Because I say wow and oh. And that's rad. And if you want to hear that from some like-minded individuals, that's a great thing to do. Join that. Baering the List. Hey, was ranking Toonami stuff. Baering the List is an ongoing thing I did. I put a new episode up on Wednesday. There's the last one. And then I'll have a brand new Pat Bear's Anime Club coming out on Monday. But if you missed the last one, I talked about some pet peeves, and I tried to keep it light. I really love doing Pat Bear's Anime Club, and I'm very excited the one I did on Monday because it is Pride. It's June, it's Pride, and as of course as we shine the spotlight on black people who are queer and specifically black trans women who started a lot of the work, who did the work and got in the streets and made trouble. I made a video on Monday about queer anime. Some of it is blatant. Some of it is just recommendations. Some of it is very light. And one of them, it's one of those like, nobody says they're gay, but everybody in the show is gay. It's one of those shows. I think actually two of those. But anyway, that's that. I'm going to talk about some anime. Speaking of anime, I'm going to talk about some anime that I want to talk about on stream here as we get back to building. We'll go back to the overhead. We're going to work on these legs here. And I'm going to talk about some anime from the past couple days. I got two of my regular shows because shows are on hiatus because Japan's COVID response. And one show that I hit the random button. We'll get to that in a second. Talking about the randomness of some shows. Let's see. I need E12. One thing about not having these very bright lights for the green screen is that I have a little less light of seeing the numbers on some of these sheets. So I'm probably, for Monday, on Monday I will be playing around. The main problem with playing around with lighting is that I have to do it at night because it doesn't make any sense for me to play around with lighting during the day for my evening streams because I get some sunlight in there, right? So what I'll have to do is like tomorrow night I will play around with my settings, or I'll do it right leading up in there. But yeah, I gotta make it a little brighter in this area without it being like so bright on my face. And so I'll be playing around with that. And again, your feedback is important. So if you have any feedback, feel free to let me know. So we'll start with My Next Life is a Villainess. All routes lead to doom. We got part one of a two-parter. The preview of last week said that we were going to have her get accused. This was a doom flag moment. This was a moment that was coming. We knew it was coming. But even though she is kind of dim, she was right. Our heroine was right in being like, I'm not doing anything bad to Maria. What are you talking about? What's going on? And you're like, yeah, what is going on? Someone's trying to set her up. There is a version of her that would be doing these things, and it's fair that there are some people who don't like her, but the people that don't like her generally don't like her because she's been shutting them down and nice to the commoner. Or they're jealous of the fact that all of these available bachelors are into her, even though she is betrothed to one dude. She's got like a bunch of dudes falling out of her. And ladies as well. I don't know if any of the ladies who are mad at her are mad that a bunch of other dudes or a bunch of ladies are into her as well. So we're like, yeah, what the fuck's going on with that? And then we find out what's going on with that. She gets saved. People are like, these accusations don't make any sense. There's no way that that this makes any sense at all. What's going on here? Who would say these things? What's happening? What is this? And then we kind of get the idea. We found out someone used magic to make this happen. And Maria gets kidnapped. We don't know what happened to Maria. And it's the student council president. Because of course it is. That dude looks like too important to be a character in to not be anything, right? We've seen him around, but he was never in the video game. He was never in plot twist, Dirty. He was never in any major scenes in Fortune Lover. Yeah, which was the game that this world is based on that she's been living in. So it was like, hey, what's up with this dude? Like, in the same way that I am wondering what's up with the guy who the magician who's kind of been helping out our dude on Eighth Son. I'm like, you seem like you might be fucking around. I've been wondering what's going on with this dude. Well, it turns out he says some like incel bullshit about how she's like twisted people around and is playing with people's emotions, and he can tell, and it's like, that doesn't seem right. And apparently you get dark magic by at the cost of someone's life, and we don't know what that means yet. But it's two-parter. We'll find out next week, and I assume there's 12 episodes, so the 12th episode will hopefully just be a recap, or not recap, but like finishing up the series. But it was got some action going there. Gotta save Maria. Gotta figure out what's going on, and then let's solve this problem. There's also a moment where Achan, her old friend, like she remembers, was trying to spoil about the hidden character in the game that you need, that can just at any time like make it so you lose because he's a hidden character. And she was like, "Oh, no spoilers." And apparently, no spoilers meant that she just forgot about it up until now. Which is, I'm going to say this, that feels too convenient. Like, I understand you've got to do something because this character. Because otherwise it doesn't really work if she knows everything about it. You gotta add a little something there. So Katrina Ig, I don't think she dies. I think that this show is, while the show does have some serious tone to it, most of the seriousness gets kind of wrapped up, right? Like, it's still a light-hearted show. So my thought is that she, because I'm not convinced that the mysterious dark figure that we saw in the trials, I don't think that was this dude, because wouldn't he want her, because somebody used wind magic to save her, right? So I don't think that was him, because also his plots seem bad. His plots to get rid of her seem not good. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But like, there's too many people that like love her for her not to pull through. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But a little bit of drama, and I can't wait till next week. It is a fantastic show, and I look forward to seeing where they take it. My Next Life is a Villainess. It is one of the best shows this season. If you were turned off by the idea of an isekai, it is definitely like that. Is just the framework, or the idea of like a Sword Art Online where someone is like playing the video game that they like. Because it's not that. It's a combination of the two. It's got so much heart, and it's just a silly, fun show that I really recommend. So yeah, if you're looking for a anime show, get caught up. All right, so Kaguya-sama, Love is War. This was another 3-part story. I would say 2 of them were very good, and 1 part was not as good. I don't really like. So here's the thing, right? When a new character gets introduced, right? Like we've seen her before, but she's now like a major cast member. When a new character gets introduced, a thing that happens in a lot of these shows is somebody loses focus. And in this episode, we got no Fujiwara Chiaka. at all. And that sucks because she rules. Because she's like the best. And so it was like a big bummer to not have her get to do anything in this episode because, wait, so it's got to go like this. Uh, yeah, for her not to be able to do anything in this episode because they had to focus on uh, other characters, and that's a shame because she's she's the best girl. So I was like, oh, I don't really like that. Um, it was pretty funny. I would say Kaguya-sama was good. I think the second story of her like continuing this thing of like they almost kissed, and now she's like trying to figure out ways to like be around him and deal with that. I thought that was pretty fun. The third story. Oh, I will say the thing that was fun about the first story is Ayone, Yono, I should say, trying to imagine what she thought working in the student council was going to be like, and it's all like old sports anime, or not sports anime, but like sports movies, like Eye of the Tiger, kind of a song kind of plays, and I thought that was very charming. Like that was a thing that like in her mind that she was going to come in and like really change things up. It was like movie trailer stuff, and then at one point, her fantasy kind of changed, and it became like it went from like bars and being like widescreen, and when the bars came down, like to change the style of how it was drawn to being like gritty, like 80s, like 4x3, and I thought that was very clever and a little surprising for that show to throw in some cool art shit. I thought that was pretty neat. But overall, it was just her overreacting to what's going on. Um, and I guess that's why she's there is to see what's happening in the show and react to it. And we like that, but I don't love it. Uh, and I love the nod to the Peanuts. Yeah, at one point it looked like the Peanuts. Uh, and it you got a little Lucy, but also a little Peppermint Patty. I do like her friend who's just like, oh, that sounds pretty good to me. She's like, no, I don't need your perverted stuff infiltrating it. Yeah, I like that. I think the third story was really fun. It's our friend, the kind of like he's not goth, but he's kind of our sad boy student council member. Makes the realization, which he should have realized sooner, because he really goofed it up, that joining the spirit, like the cheer squad, the it's not. It doesn't make you appear to be normal by joining that. It's where the normies are there, and these are these energetic like people, and he's just like, I made a huge mistake. I shouldn't be doing this. And I will say it had a sweet little moment with him and Kaguya where she like helps him out, and it was like a nice little thing. And I was expecting this thing of like him wearing her uniform for cheer day or whatever to be another moment of someone catching them and there it being an awkward moment, but it wasn't. The president came in and like understood what it was for, or even if he didn't understand what it was for, he like didn't react like it was some big deal. He was just actually jealous that the lady he likes was paying a lot of attention to another dude. It was just jealousy. It was pretty fun. Also, one of the things of the part where she's trying to figure out a ways to not be nervous around him because they almost kissed. Uh, it ends up with her like just flipping him onto the ground. Like, so basically, she comes up with this idea that if she does this when she's calm, and then when she's nervous, she can do this, and it will put her in that calm place. It's a ritual thing. Well, he's grabbed her arm, so he can't do that. Yes, she did. But it wasn't like the big thing. It's just going to be added to the list, and she already doesn't like him, even though I'm assuming, Ig, that he was the one that sent her that flower to support her because he has been kind of silently supporting her because he feels bad about the way she's been treated, or the way she puts herself. I assume he did that because she really just decided she doesn't like him. Uh, oh yeah, yeah, I do like that. Yeah, yes, that he was like, oh, he immediately changed his mind about boxer briefs because he was like, oh, I guess I'll do that. You're right. I'm just wearing briefs and listening to people I shouldn't be listening to. Um, yeah, the show is good, y'all. You know me, right? I'm not one for tsundere stuff, and I will say, Kaguya is pretty dang tsundere, because she is because whereas uh, our president, student council president, is just like, I'm interested in her. I like her a lot, but I can't act on this until she does. She is like, oh, well, I guess we could date. But she is like in denial about how much she just genuinely likes him, which is fun. And as I said, it's generally not my style. It's not my steez, but like, it's done very well, and I'm into it. I'm like into the show. I think it's like well delivered and well done. Even if it is a style, a style of things, because it's so over the top. But also, there's like a lot of, and then there's like silly moments that really offset it. So yeah, first season of the show is on Crunchyroll. First and second season are on Funimation. They got the exclusive to the second season, it looks like. Um, and okay, let's talk about Ultra Maniac. I didn't watch this when the show came out. This is me hitting random on Crunchyroll. I've been hitting random on Crunchyroll, so I have more anime to talk to y'all about. And yeah, this was not a thing that I watched when it came out. Um, and I don't know if I would have watched it when it came out. So basically, there's a girl. She's playing tennis. She's doing her thing. She's got a guy she likes. She's got some friends. She's making things happen. She's doing her thing. There's a new girl in school who doesn't seem to have any friends, who seems kind of weird, who becomes very latched onto her and has like, oh, I have a secret and I'm going to test you about it. And she's like, I don't want to get involved. And it's a whole thing. Turns out her friend is a magical girl and magic is real, which she doesn't believe in. Uh, and magic is real. And this girl's like, hey, I'm here and I'm in competition and I got to find a bunch of stones or gems. I can't remember. I think it's stones, to prove that I'm a good witch or magical girl. So you're going to help me. We're friends now. And then there's like friendship stuff and magic stuff. And then there's just like dating stuff and high school stuff. And it seems all right. I watched 3 episodes. I don't know if I'm going to keep watching. I think it's like 20 something episodes. I'm going to look this up. I don't know if I'm going to keep watching it. Um, but let me see. Maniac. Uh, Ultra Maniac. And I can tell you what year it came out in. But I'll say, like, not bad. Oh, all right, yeah, there's 26 episodes. There's a dub available on Crunchyroll. This was like an acquisition because this was a show from some year. 2003? Yeah. But it's like, yeah, it's like a romance comedy thing, but there's also magic and cute characters, and like the art style feels very like late 90s. I'm looking at some sort of like, yeah, there's like, I don't know. The art and you're just like, oh wow, yeah. It's like dating and friendship and magic and boys, and I was like, okay. I've watched far worse shows. I don't know if I'm going to keep watching it, but like I didn't hate it by any means. So there's that. Um, and that's kind of it. I'm not, really watching anything that's coming out. Uh, when it's over, I will go and marathon all of the second half of this season, or the second season, depending on how you look at it, um, of Ascendance of Bookworm, I just, week to week, it just was not keeping my interest, so I kind of let that show go. But I am interested in seeing where it's going. I'm just not super interested in where it has been, if that makes any sense to y'all. I didn't hate it, Pat Baer. Yeah, Harold, I mean, so look, here's the thing. You know, the show I watched on Sunday that I'm going to talk about on Monday, I talk about every Monday, Sashibato, President's Time for Battle. Is that a good anime? Yeah. Is it a great anime? Fuck no. That is not a great anime by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a very okay anime. It's good enough. It's good enough when it's the only show that I watch that comes out on Sundays and Mondays. That's great because Woodpecker somehow, like, I didn't like, so I'm not watching that. And what else is out that I'm not watching? Oh, the Shiro Neko show, like that didn't. I was just like, it's just not doing anything for me, so I wasn't watching that. So like, at a certain point, I want to watch anime and talk about it, and it's hard to watch anime and talk about it when there isn't anime to watch and talk about. And again, when I talk about these things, when I say like, oh, it's a bummer this isn't out, or it's a bummer I can't talk about this, that is explicit with the understanding that Japan did the right thing, and I'm not mad at Japan. I'm mad that they didn't do it sooner. I'm certainly not upset that these shows are on hiatus. I don't want my money back from Funimation because Diary of Our Days at Breakwater is is on a hiatus. While, like, no, I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad that I can't watch more of, I'm a little upset that a few shows came out and aired like 3 episodes. Like, I would have rather they just didn't come out instead of going on hiatus, but like, I can't be mad about that. Especially with like the second half of every episode of Gal and Dino being live action. I certainly don't want folks exposing themselves, putting themselves at undue risk just so I can watch that weirdo show. No, I'm good. I'm okay. I'll find some old anime to watch. That's kind of the goal. Is like that's why I've been hitting the random button. I don't know if Funimation has. I don't think Funimation has a random. I wonder if someone's made like a app for Funimation that like randomizes it. Probably not. I mean, they have recommended, trending guides, moods. I guess I could do that. I could do like recommended or trending, and like find something that way. I could probably do that, and try to find like a hidden gem. I haven't had Funimation too much, but I did talk about Kakushigoto on Thursday. I loved the episode overall. I think like I loved that they work on it, but it's not too much. The idea that these ladies are interested in him, a few through his own kind of mistakes, and some that are just all on them. But yeah, when he's sick and all these ladies show up, because the teacher kind of understands that, like, well, I guess no. Because even, like, when they were on their date, but it wasn't, she thought they was on a date, but they were on a date, she still said she had a really good time, which is sad. But yeah, Kakushigoto. We're going to find out next week. It sounds like he stops writing. If that's what happened, if he just, like, stopped being a manga artist and that's what all these reveals are, I'm not going to feel cheated, but it is like, I don't know. That show is way more dramatic than I originally would have thought, and that's not a criticism. It's just a surprise. Kakushigoto is way more of a beautiful story than I would have guessed. when hearing about it. Um, but yeah, I haven't had Funimation that long, so I've been thinking I might go and try out to see what they have that I haven't watched. See if there's any shows. Maybe they've got some stuff that I haven't checked out. Maybe is this the time that I finally watch that Dumbbells show that I watched like the first episode of and was like meh and never kept going. Maybe maybe it's time to really watch how heavy the dumbbells you lift. I don't know. Probably not because I really didn't like the first episode. It's because it got revealed what happened to his wife, right? So that seems to be the end of that episode. Seems to be setting up that um, his what happened with his wife and his situation gets revealed to people, and that is and he loses his spark to write. Uh, I don't know, Ig. My assumption through all of this was that he must have died, uh, and that is that these things were there. But maybe he left her in the custody of her grandfather and started working overseas, like got a new job. Like, uh, I don't know. It's possible that that whole thing about him disappearing, or maybe he disappeared from the world of being a manga artist, um, and ended up in the seaside area, but wanted her to stay with her friends and finish her schooling, and that's the mystery. Because you do see the modern stuff. The thing that's tripping me up is the dude that worked underneath him working at a bookstore. Because the other people were at the beach, and I'm like, what? I don't know. Like, I just assumed that he also passed away. And she's now, as an older person, starting to understand the secret life that he led um, while he was raising her. But I don't know. I don't quite know where it's going, which is interesting because it it's hey, that's the other show this season. Because Gal Dino is on hiatus, I will say my two favorite shows this season are My Next Life is a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, and Kakashigoto. Like those are my two favorite shows this season. So if you're, one's on Crunchyroll, one is on Funimation. Both you can watch with ads. A week late. You don't get the latest episode if you're not a premium member, but you can still watch them. Um, but I would say that those are the best shows this season by far. Yeah, I'm not sure. Uh, I will also say, like, I love the idea of like the manga burnout of like you can't go too far because people are gonna have notes like you worked on this issue, but you can't travel too far. It's a good show. Yeah, as I said, it was way deeper. It's a slice of life, but it's not a chill anime. So I highly recommend it if you're looking for something to watch. But yeah, I've been wondering like, and what am I going to be watching? Like, are there any other shows that I should be checking out right now? Um, while I wait for things to come back. As I said, there is stuff where episodes are coming out. It's just shows I'm not interested in watching, and that's on me. But like, if I'm not interested in it, I'm not gonna to watch it. Especially since like, I mean, there was a period there where like my Friday and Saturday shows are all Saturday shows, so I gotta find the time to watch all of them at the same window, and that is a little tough sometimes. It's not that hard, but it is tough. Oh, tough! I gotta watch anime. Whatever. I don't have the WWE Network right now. I don't plan on getting it anytime soon, so I will not be able to talk about In Your House, which is the NXT. Even though I do like the idea of them doing an In Your House pay per view and calling it that, that does make me smile. Um, Sing Yesterday for me has another 8 episodes. I didn't realize it was going on so long. Oh, wow, Ig. Yeah, I'm not. I started that, and I just wasn't vibing with it. That might be another show that like I've been, that I might check out, but it didn't. The episode I watched didn't really hit me as a show that I was like gonna get into. Since you have Netflix, did you see Space Force? I did see Space Force. Yes, I have Netflix for the month because I had to watch. I had to. I really wanted to watch um, Dora Hidoro. So yeah, I saw Space Force. Yeah, it's all right. It's not great. It's all right. Uh, I would say it's perfectly okay. Um, I'm getting older, and you'd think that by getting older, I would relate to Steve Carell characters more. The kind of character you hire Steve Carell to play. You know what I mean? But I think that I'm just less uh, interested in that. You know what I mean? Uh, I'm just less interested in that kind of character. Never explained what the wife did, just left it hanging. Yeah, it feels like that show, there's more to that show. Like they didn't finish it, or they were just like, hey, we have the answers, but we're going to leave a bunch of questions up for the next season. I don't know. I don't know. It's perfectly okay. Look, it's a thing you can watch. So like, if you need to watch something, I get it. I'm there. I'm with you. Hey, you know what I've been watching? I've been watching SB Nation videos. I do not care about sports, but I really like. I mean, so I started watching one because um, Ryan Simmons had an ongoing series there, which was like Weird Rules, and Ryan is a New York City-based comedian that I know from UCB stuff. Ryan's a good dude. Clara Morrison has done some stuff. Clara Morris has done stuff as well for that. Um, and I was like, oh, I like Ryan. I'll watch this. I've never watched these. I'm watching a lot of SB Nation shit. A lot of their video stuff. A lot of like weird rules and weird math stuff. And like, yeah, I know John. People love John Boy's stuff. I never gave it a chance. I just decided it wasn't for me. Turns out, if it's a weird thing, I'm into it right now because I need things to have on while I'm not super paying attention to some stuff, and sometimes like the long pauses and the weird math, I'm like, I don't care about the math episodes. Um, but if you're gonna tell me about this like garbage marathon from the Olympics that no one gave a shit about, and like a dude uh, and it was all an experiment, a social experiment, and like, yeah, tell me about the guy who came not to represent his country and just ran in shorts that were pants that he cut himself because someone was like, "Hey, you can't run in pants," so he cut his pants into shorts, and that guy came in like fourth. Sure, that sounds rad. Tell me about these things. Tell me about DeVry's basketball team. Please. I need it. DeVry had a basketball team and some of the weirdest, highest scored, points scored in basketball. It's pretty great. Um, so I would say like I don't know, watch some of those. I would say start with the weird rules because Ryan is fun and just a good dude. Um, and he's like telling the story to a person, a staff member. He's like relating it to them, and some of them have like an idea of what's going on, and some of them have never heard of what he's talking about. And it's fun to be that like the soccer referee that scored a goal because you just can. or the night that there weren't enough referees because of a snowstorm, and so they conscripted players in the game to be referees until the other referees showed up, and how one dude was taking it super seriously. He got really into it. Like, I don't know, it's weird shit. I love it. I look, I also like, you say I don't like sports stuff, and I don't love sports stuff, but I also really love weird shit. This makes me miss Karen Chu's Good Job Brain. I learned that there was a rabbit that won a marathon by accident. Yes, dirty. Good Job Brain was a fantastic podcast. I like all those people a lot. Um, uh, and I'm glad that it was a lot for Karen as she was going through some stuff that took a very long time for her to get through. And then, like, Colin had a kid, somebody had a kid on it. I met all of them. I was happy to meet all of them because Chris Kohler from Good Job Brain, I've known for a very long time. We went to high school together. So I went to his wedding and got to meet the other members there at the wedding, which was very nice because they were also at Chris's wedding. And that was just kind of nice to be like, hello, I like your podcast. And I had met Karen before that. And Karen is a lovely person. Have not talked to her in a while because last time I was out anywhere near her, she stopped like having to go to cons. Like, she was going on her own, and then she was like, I don't want to go to conventions anymore. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense. So I haven't seen her in a bit. But yeah, Good Job Brain. That's a fun podcast. This is a trivia. This is like Trivia People's podcast. They're still around there because of Chris's research for Good Job Brain. We got yes, the 404. Yes, the famous AIDS and diet AIDS, AIDS, because that company existed before the autoimmune deficiency disorder, autoimmune deficiency syndrome, I should say. Sorry. That there was a thing like that. Yeah. Diet AIDS is such a weird thing that is a thing that you can say, and you're that is an accurate thing you can say. All right. Let me see how much more do we have left to put together. Okay, so we still have to put this backpack together. We still have the weapon to build. So we're going to finish the weapon. We'll finish the weapon because we're almost done. We're done with the stream just about here. We're going to finish out the backpack now, and then we'll finish the weapon and put that together on Monday. And then on Monday, we'll do something else. I'll put a poll up tomorrow for my $10 patrons over on my Patreon. My $10 patrons will get to decide what we build next. I have 2 Lego sets and I have some model kits to build, and they get to decide what I worked on next. And when I know, then you'll know. But we'll finish this up here. We might go a couple minutes over 11 just so I can finish this up. We are gonna go and we are gonna give a raid to some people. I don't know who we're going to raid right now. I'll find out soon. But we'll go and give some folks some love. You never know. Occasionally I've been raiding people and they finish up right away, and I apologize for that. But hopefully they share the love and send you on someplace. Not everyone does. I try to raid West Coast people because West Coast people are more likely to be streaming for a while because they are, ahead of me. They got some time, or behind me, or whatever. So hopefully we'll find somebody who is going to stream for a bit. And there's some night owls here on the East Coast, but you never know. Hopefully we'll go and raid somebody cool as hell, and you'll be like, oh, this rules. I'm so psyched about this person, Pat. Thank you for sending me here. So I'm learning about who they are and what they're about. Or I'll be sending you to somebody you already like, and you're like, oh yeah, I know. This person owns. You don't have to tell me twice. All right, so we're gonna put this in here. We're gonna do this, and then also hopefully as we go to raid, we don't get raided like we did last time. Also, I want to point out this backpack kind of looks like legs for another. Like it looks like this kit's regular legs folded up behind it as a backpack, and then it got like spidery legs instead, which is what happens in the Death Army from G Gundam. But I think this one always has these legs. But it looks like it just looks like this thing has folded up legs as the backpack is folded up legs, and I really like that. I think that is a weird thing. Oops. All right, where's guys here? All right. So again, our next build stream will be on Monday. Feel free to come check that out. Here's this kit. It's weird looking. Thanks for being here, folks. We are going to go ahead and we're going to find a stream to raid. I just have to find somebody that I want to go give the old raid to. Let's see. Who's on right now? Well, thank you. And again, thanks for everybody who's here tonight. Appreciate everybody coming and hanging out. Thank you to Dirty for those gifted subs. It means a lot. I hope people would at least consider hanging out and continuing there. Xandra's playing Monster Train. Let's just go give a raid to Xandra. Xandra is the best. So we're going to give Xandra a raid. She made our emotes, and she's good people. And hopefully she's going to be streaming for a bit. But she made our gosh darn emotes, and so we're going to go give her a raid. Yeah, feel free to come along. If you don't want to come along, you don't have to. But that was the stream. Thanks so much for being here. I hope to see you on the next Build with Baer on Monday. Again, on Wednesday, I'm raising money, so come check that out. And see you next time. Bye-bye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.